Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a psychologist specialized in emotional and binge eating, and I want to explain you that there is a very simple reason why just like me, you're not able to lose weight, or you lose it and then you gain it back, and it's just like a new frustration every time you see the number on the scale going up, and you're reinventing yourself or your way of eating because the last diet you were on obviously didn't give the results, because now you have gained the weight back. Like, first of all, you have to be honest with yourself. You were on a diet that was unsustainable, difficult to follow. You were restricting in calories, in food groups. There was nothing fun about that diet. It was repetitive, boring, and you were just hungry all the time. You were most probably in a very big caloric deficit, and it's not something you can maintain. So the fact that you're gaining the weight back means you are now eating not in moderation anymore, because you were so deprived. You're eating much more food than before, and the weight goes up. But I would say that people need to start from the basics, and they have to understand that if you have a week of eating, and let's say you eat 3 meals a day, just to make the calculation a little bit more simple. So you have 21 meals, right? You can make 16, 17 meals perfectly, quote unquote, clean, like according to your, diet plan or according to some diet preferences. And then you can have 3-4 meals that are the fun meals, the less nutritious meals, the meals where you feel like you are part of, your family, or you are allowed to go out and you can order food, or someone can cook for you, and so on and so forth. Because when you enter into that cycle of I need to eat clean every single day, all 3 meals, it means that on some level you are not allowing yourself a variety of foods. You are also not participating in events. You make it very hard for yourself to go out or to order food, and that brings up quite a bit of anxiety in your life, and stress in your life, and anxiety around food. Because if you go out and everyone is eating and you're fasting, or you had your chicken breast and broccoli at home, and now you're like, I have to have my sparkling water while all of you are eating, it will not make you feel good. And that sensation of not feeling good, or feeling like you are excluded and not participating, can make you actually binge more. So my advice to everyone is that, first of all, understand that the diet you chose is the diet that you have to be on for the rest of your life if you want to maintain that weight. Don't think for a second that you can lose the weight on a super restrictive diet and then eat in moderation different types of foods if you haven't, practiced eating those foods in moderation while you were losing weight. So if you have ditched and cut out all the sweets, for example, how do you expect to be able to eat 1 row of chocolate, not a whole bar? It's very hard. But if you practice including in one of those 3-4 meals some chocolate or some pastry or some pasta, whatever you are not allowing yourself, you will see that you can include a variety of foods and still lose weight. And then it becomes not necessarily a diet, but a way of living where you have 70-80% of the meals that are aligned, let's say, with your weight loss goals or whatever goals you have. And then the other ones are just those that kind of allow you to live a little and just have fun and not feel so restricted and hungry. Because you have to understand, when you restrict in the moment, you may feel like you're doing the right thing, like, oh, I'm pushing away my cravings, I'm so strong, I have the motivation, the willpower. But please understand, you have it on that particular day. It doesn't mean at all that tomorrow you can reproduce that. You don't have the motivation every day to push away the cravings. You don't have the willpower to do it every single day. You cannot rely on those things to keep you in check while you're losing the weight on a very restrictive diet. So you don't want to put yourself in the position where you're constantly assessing, can I do this? Is this hard? Will I make it? You want it to make it kind of more effortless for you. And the only way how you can do that while losing weight is to make sure that you have a couple of meals a week where you can eat different things, like go out for a burger or pizza or order something, and without really tracking your calories. It will not change your progress, but you will feel more calm and peaceful around food. In my particular case, I would always binge on foods that I was not allowing myself to have. it didn't matter. Like, I was on so many different diets, so if I was not allowed to eat, meat, because I was a plant-based eater at one point, I was literally binging on meat, or I was binging on sweets, I was binging on bread when I went keto. It's just whatever I was not allowing myself, and I was restricting, and it was a reminder constantly that I cannot have those foods, and that I will binge. If I have them, I would eventually binge. And that made me realize that it's the binges that would go on for 2-3 weeks that made the weight loss impossible. And so when I realized that, like, okay, it's not that the diet is wrong necessarily, it's the way I incorporate my life into the diet, which means that yes, I can be on a certain diet, but I also need to have these moments of pleasure and joy and satisfaction around food. I am not just a robot that uses food for energy. I also need to kind of feel alive around food. I need to enjoy those moments, and I want to participate with other people in my life. So once I realized that, I was like, okay, I will be on a certain diet to lose weight, but I will make sure 3-4 times a week that I can have that glass of wine, and I can have, that pasta with some cheeses and whatnot. And that was the way, the moment I stopped the severe restriction, that I actually lost the weight without even thinking about it, because food and what I cannot have was never on my mind.